All right, welcome back, fine shits. Today's video is partially inspired by the most grueling 12 hours of my entire life. You know, after TikTok got banned, I went outside and tried to touch grass, but there wasn't any because Ohio thinks it's Antarctica right now. But I came back inside and found a new guilty pleasure, which is dating shows from the early 2000s. And sure, nowadays you have dating shows like Love is Blind, 90 Day Fiance, Love Island, The Bachelor, one with Travis Kelce for some reason.
Hey ladies, who wants to dance? Ride the pony, ride the pony, ride the pony.
Yeah, right, like this guy could ever get a girlfriend. But then you go back to the early 2000s dating shows and you realize they were like their own level of unhinged. You know, you had shows like Next.
Curvy girls make my junk twitch.
You had Room Raiders.
Learn how to knit? Maybe you can knit me a sweater.
I'll knit you some panties. I'll make them all pink and red. Put a little bell on them. Dig-a-dig-a-dig.
And you can't forget everybody's favorite, Date My Mom.
Time to date these mothers and find me a lover.
The best way I can describe it is that these networks, which was mostly MTV because I think they made most if not all of those, would kind of exploit people that were desperate to be on TV under the guise of like finding true love. They were probably a little more willing to act weird on camera. But while I was looking through all of those, I found one that I hadn't seen before, and it was so disgustingly hilarious that I couldn't help but make a video about it. Today we are going to be talking about a show called Gay, Straight, or Taken. That's not just the thing that people say whenever they see me out in public. So Gay, Straight, or Taken was a show that aired on Lifetime in 2007. The premise was that one woman would hang out with three guys, where one guy would be gay, one guy would be straight but single, and then one guy would be straight but taken. So the goal is that the woman will try to figure out which one is the straight guy by taking them on dates and putting them through tests and things like that. So they have to try and play it straight.
Nice shot.
And in the end, if she chooses the single guy, they get an all-expenses-paid vacation together. But if she picks one of the other guys, then they actually get to take the vacation with their own significant others, which is already bonkers for like a couple different reasons. For one, I think making a whole show about who's gay and straight can kind of push some bad stereotypes if they're not careful, especially at a time when every guy dressed like this. Really expect me to believe that two of these guys are straight. And not to mention, the grand prize is like a luxury vacation with someone you just met that day. You know, I'd understand if it was like an all-expenses paid second date at like a PF Chang's or something, but they're like trying to ship you off to the Maldives with someone that you don't even know anything about other than that they're straight. So, you ready for the beach? Not really. I honestly kind of hate the beach, but I certainly love women. That's good enough for me. So the show only ran for 18 episodes. Big shocker. But I think the one we're talking about today perfectly encapsulates the show for better and worse. So we meet Casey D, a model looking for a fun and adventurous guy.
And has a good sense of humor. And maybe a bit sarcastic at times. Yeah.
And real quick, something I noticed after I've watched like a few of these shows, modeling is a pretty common profession you'll hear, especially from like the women in these shows. My best guess is that they only wanted like hot people on TV and their brains were like, oh, well, there's no one hotter than a model, right? You weren't allowed to look like a normal person on this show unless you were going to get made fun of for being fat and ugly. And that's exactly why I've never been on TV before. That's it. That's the only reason for sure. So next we get to meet the guys. We've got Brandon, Andrew, and
John Perkinson, also known as Perk. And I love to sing. I'll bust out a song anywhere.
Dude's name is Perk. Okay, that actually sounds like a really straight thing to do. That's like with my name being Zach Morris, but I told everyone to call me Moore. More beers for the fellas, am I right?
What do you think's going down?
All three of us after a hot chick.
Oh, whoa, check it out. Wow.
All right, boys, tone it down a little bit. We want it to be believable. I'm sorry, but like that was a little too forced for me. Holy moly, her boobies are wicked cool.
All right, you're a present. Nice. And I got my own little t-shirt company, and you're looking mighty perkalicious this morning, so this is for you.
Okay, now putting your catchphrase on a t-shirt is a pretty hetero thing to do. But what if he knows that these are straight things to do and he's doing that to like throw us off our game? If this guy had a girlfriend, do you think she would let him put perkalicious on shirts? My girlfriend wouldn't let me do that. Her first question would be, what the fuck is perkalicious? They all sit down and have a chat, and it's really funny how fast Brandon creeps her out.
Small farming community.
What kind of farm was it?
It was a dairy farm.
Can you milk a cow?
Brandon really weirded me out.
Now here's the thing. I totally understand he didn't have to say it like that, you know?
Can you milk a cow?
But you also just said you live on a farm, so I feel like it's not like that far out of a question to ask. Imagine if she had nothing to do with the farm and he still said that. I actually just passed the bar exam. I'm getting hired by a law firm soon. I'm just really wanting to make a difference and do some good in the world. Cool. Do you know how to milk a cow? You look like you'd be really good at tugging on something until stuff came out. But I'm not, because I'm totally straight. Then Casey gets 2 phone calls from the wife and boyfriend of the other guys.
One of them is taken, and he's my husband.
Another one of the guys is gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
And here's where I want to make my official predictions on who I think is what. So when I watched this for the first time, I predicted that Perk was gay, Andrew was straight and single, and Brandon was taken. But Casey is thinking something different.
I think that Perk could be the one that is single and available because he's given me a t-shirt. He's really trying hard. Andrew could possibly be gay because of the way that he was kind of speaking and such. And Brandon, maybe just because of the way he was dressed.
Which one of us is right? Keep watching to find out. So Casey takes them on their first test, and it's probably the funniest thing they could have thought of.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're riding the bull today.
I think that riding a bull really shows a man's manliness.
Like, is that really the best test for manliness? Like, I've seen my fair share of women be able to tame a mechanical bull while being incredibly intoxicated. So let's see if the boys can handle it.
Actually, I'm gonna do this like a true cowboy.
Oh, watch out. Oh my God. Brandon was trying to be a man's man, but really it seemed like he was trying to be a man's man, if you know what I mean.
Clock his T, sis. It does make you wonder how being in this scenario would make you second guess everything that they do. Like, he probably thought showing her his body was gonna like make her more attracted to him, but instead she just goes, "Hey yo, taking your shirt off in front of other guys? Nah, miss me with that gay shit."
Watch out! Watch out!
So Perk is up next, and he has the nastiest pit stains I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it happens to the best of us, but goddamn. Probably happened because I saw Brandon with the shirt off a little bit ago. And Andrew stays on the longest, which for some reason tells Casey that he's the straight and single one.
At this point in time, I'm thinking that Andrew is the one who's straight and available, and Brandon's definitely the one that's gay. I'm starting to think that Perk might actually be the one that's taken.
So next up, Casey has a one-on-one with Perk, and they play a game of picture association.
Vacuuming. I'm actually really excellent at vacuuming.
Ah yes, vacuuming, a famously gay pastime. You know, like the vacuum sucks. Sorry.
Shoes. I love shoes.
How many pairs of shoes do you have?
I probably have like over 30.
That's more pairs of shoes than I have.
See, when I have running shoes, I always buy women's running shoes.
Did he just say he wears women's running shoes?
What if she just started like pulling out pictures of men? Now, who do you see in this picture? I mean, that's Kai from the K-pop group EXO. That's what I thought you'd say. Now, what do you see in this picture? Those are 2 men embracing each other in a hug. They look pretty happy together. I'm sure that's what you see. Now, what about this one? That's just a penis. That's a full-on cock. I don't know what you want me to say about that. So Casey gets to talk to Perk for a little bit, and now she's convinced that they have like this deep emotional connection to each other.
He turns this whole thing around and becomes this person I have this connection with. And I started to dig him a little bit, starting to feel that he might be the one that's single and available.
And I'm sure she's hamming it up a little for the cameras, but like, the only things you know about him is that he gave you a shirt that says Perkalicious, and he wears women's sneakers. Remember how he was on the bull, Casey. Remember the bull. Then Casey goes on a 4-wheeler ride with Andrew, which is a really good idea because 4-wheelers are gay as hell. What's wrong, Cupcake? You can't keep your balance on a dirt bike? Yo, fellas, is it gay to need 4 wheels? I promise. That was a joke, I promise.
You need to let me drive because you don't know what the hell you're doing.
My favorite things. Those are so good.
Pork rinds?
They are.
So you're into motocross at all?
Not as much as NASCAR.
Really?
Damn, you drive a hard bargain, Andrew. That's why we like you around here.
I think that Andrew is gay. I think that Perk might be the one that's straight and available. That's leading me to believe that Brandon is taken.
And here's your reminder of my guesses that I was so confident in I didn't change them one time watching the episode. And we'll see in a little bit how I actually did. I also want to mention real quick that for every one-on-one date that they would do, the other 2 guys were still there. They were just like off in the distance. And I know like every dating show will let like the other contestants spectate and all that. It's usually from a different location or like like an air-conditioned room at least. They'll be staged right here. They requested pork rinds and root beer for some reason. And you two just make yourselves comfortable amongst the trees. I'm sure you guys will get along great with them. They're long and hard, and I know you guys like that. So next up, Casey takes Brandon for dance lessons, and she immediately regrets it.
No, that's not how you do it. Oh, no, no, no. This is so weird.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she just doesn't like Brandon, like, at all.
One of my jobs is I do catering jobs, and I've worked at a few parties where there's tons of gay men, and we've been asked to take off our shirts, which we have no problem in doing because, you know, it's a good tip, so.
Ruh-roh.
Thinking about it now, any one of them could be gay.
Really shouldn't say that.
Dude, what if the show was like just some meta commentary on stereotypes where like every single one of them is gay, but they still like their pork rinds or wearing shirts with dumb catchphrases on them? Yes. Like the dating premise is a way to draw people in, and then you kind of learn a lesson by the end of it. You know, that would be a cool twist, but this is the early 2000s, so none of these people's best interest is at mind right now. So Casey's last test is having the guys do a fashion show, which, like I said earlier, does nothing for this time period. What if this is where the whole premise backfired? Yeah, we sent them back to change a while ago, but they're still not out yet. They must be watching a game or something. I'm hearing a lot of clapping and screaming. So Perk and Andrew come out with their fits, you know, strutting their stuff, and then there's Brandon.
You did not dress yourself.
The gloves. The one thing no woman can ever resist. Fingerless gloves. Ladies, calm your pussies down, please. So now it's time for Casey to make her decision. And if this wasn't already weird enough, they bring out the partners of the other two guys. Like, we understand we don't need it shoved down our throats or anything, right? Sorry. So Casey's final guess is that Andrew is gay, Brandon is taken, and Perk is single because of that emotional bond that they shared earlier. And just as a reminder, I thought Andrew was straight, Brandon was taken, and Perk was gay. So let's see how I did.
You're right. I'm gay. And this is...
So I guess now we know why he's so good with bulls. And I got one wrong so far.
You know, we had a chance to talk one-on-one. It was really great because, you know, we both love music so much. Everything, we get along great. But I'm married. This is my wife.
The wrong guy.
He's married to a woman, and she let him put Perkalicious on a shirt or lets him vacuum the house.
Casey, I was hoping you'd pick me. I'm the one that's single and straight.
Aww.
You sure about that?
So I didn't get a single one right. My gaydar needs a little bit of work. We've figured this out. Hey, the only thing worse than my gaydar is this microphone that just decided to stop working. So Mr. and Mrs. Perk get their dream vacation. Andrew and his boyfriend get to go back to their lovely lives together. And Brandon and Casey get nothing. And let's be honest, she would have been miserable if they went on a trip together anyways. Maybe she knew it was him and she didn't want to accept it, so she just chose Perk anyways. So something I just thought about was like, if these people did like each other but still lost on the show, is there anything to stop them from like meeting up afterwards? Like, sure, they're not going to Fiji or anything, but like they could get a coffee together, right? And that was an episode of Gay, Straight, or Taken. Gee, I sure wish I was taking back my time from watching this show. And the unfortunate truth is that despite hating every single thing that this show did, I still had a lot of fun. I guess if you're gonna make a show that reinforces bad stereotypes about marginalized people, you should still make it entertaining. While I was watching this, I realized this is not one of those like shows you couldn't make today. You know, when people will talk about like an old show that was controversial and it's like, yeah, you couldn't get away with that on TV today. This is not one of those shows because I could see Netflix trying to make this now. Although I feel like in today's day, it would probably be a little easier. So do any of you guys have Taylor Swift albums on vinyl? You have 4 of the same album on vinyl. So anyways, thank y'all so much for watching today's video. It was honestly a lot of fun researching the shows I was going to talk about because there were so many that I almost did before I found this show. And if you guys want any more videos about weird early 2000s dating shows, comment down below and let me know which ones you want to see me talk about. And also make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing means the world to me and it's going to help us figure out if I'm gay, straight, or taken. It would help us a lot. So thank you all again for watching. Stay perkalicious and I will see you next time. Peace.
In the house for a very long time. Never I cease, I get better like wine. Soul searching, found me online. No end of my reach, got a hand on the skies. Stop being so emotional, what you smoking on? about time I open up. You can't roll with us. If you want peace, gon' throw up the sign.